Hey guys, welcome to Punky's World. As you can see, I actually did all my makeup, which is a rare occurrence. I talked to my aunt this morning. Hopefully they'll be here tonight. They did stay at a hotel down here last night. I'm taking you, let me cross the street safely. I'm taking you to show you where my father used to work. It's a little bit of a walk, but that's okay. There we go. That's better. I am actually using my selfie stick today, and I actually have the phone turned in the proper direction so that I don't have half a screen of video. So, gosh, I really like this lipstick. Wish my teeth were a little whiter. I mean, they look white on camera, but wow. Anyway, I am so psyched. Hope my family has a wonderful time in Salem today. They said it's about an hour from me, but they were only staying about 20 minutes from me, 25 minutes. I am wearing the dress, by the way. It is a gorgeous day for driving, thank goodness. I'm gonna keep going straight down this road. That'll be the easiest way to take it. Let's make sure that this is out all the way. There we go. And I can show you what I want to show you. Oh, and by the way, on that, I'll keep that. Genealogy. Well, on the rant that I was having the other day about everything going wrong, I just want to clarify. I probably made my aunt keeping that found an Allen wrench. You can never have too many of those, especially that size. That's a good size. Anyway, oh, I gotta put my necklace on. As I was saying, where was I? I was talking about the Allen wrench, and I forgot all about what I was saying. That's terrible. Anyway, let's move on. That's what I was saying. I probably made her the manager and didn't realize that it was going to show up like underneath, because I didn't make myself the manager of my uncles that way. You know what I mean? Initially. So I think that's what the confusion was, and I apologize for the rant. She could not have done it without me. So, oh, I did my nails. Love this color because it'll match just about everything I'm wearing over the next week. Yesterday's vlog had a minor hiccup. You'll notice that I came back and said it shut itself off and was showing you pictures. Well, when I get back home, I'll show you the pictures again, because most of the pictures that I showed you, apparently I did not press the record button, and that's why it shut itself off after so long. It's a power saver thing. It felt like a real tool, but you know, stuff happens. Look at that garden. so I'm not gonna spend a whole lot of time worrying about it. I have mostly sidewalks, which is good. I'm wearing my hat, as you can see. As you can see, I don't have my thing in the back where it goes. There we go. Because it was made for days like this, you know, sunny days. Both of my COVID tests came back negative. Yay. Because my aunt required me to take one. So, which is fine, you know. I expected that.
You have completed 0.5 kilometers and your average pace is 35 minutes and 1 second per mile.
That I've been half a kilometer. That's called Just Move. It's an app that I have on my phone that tells me distance traveled and how fast I travel that distance. My watch can just tell me steps, my Fitbit, which I like, don't get me wrong. Probably don't have many right now. I don't even know if you can see it. But it's 12:32 and I have 1,752 miles, so. I mean, not miles. Steps. 1,752 steps. Yeah, I'm not walking 1,700 miles. The place where I'm going is Turner, Maine, and it is almost 200 miles, just shy of 200 miles from here. It's right around 4 hours. It'll probably take us about 4 hours because we'll probably stop at the rest stop. Because we're all old ladies, except for Cheyenne. Well, Talisa's not really. But I say that in fun. You know, my aunt, myself, I'm 48 years old. My cousin's the same age as me. You know. So, it's just funny. Because you know how it goes when you get to be over 40 and you have to pee. You just do. So, you can hear a lot of traffic. Luckily, the audio on this phone is fantastic. And it's so easy to get what's on the phone off the phone. I just simply plug it into my computer and my computer says, "Would you like to download what's on this phone?" Yes, I sure would. Thank you. And that's it. So, I mean, iPhone is easy for that. I do have a new iPhone coming. I cannot wait to film on it. It's the XR. And I actually got it for Christmas last year, but unfortunately, it didn't work properly. So my friend is taking it to AT&T to fix it, and hopefully they can figure out what's going on with it so that I can have my new phone. Ow. Hold on. Okay, there we go. I'm wearing good shoes today, by the way. But I'm also bringing my sandals to Maine with me to wear out by the pool. And no, I'm not painting my toenails this time. I trimmed them and I made a mess of them, and I'm not messing with it at all. Okay, I have a very bad intersection here, at least a very busy one. This is coming out of Main Street. Thank you. And I want to get across this street because there's a sidewalk on that side. So I'm going to attempt it without, you know, getting smushed. Because I want to be on the sidewalk for as long as possible. So, oh, there's So many vehicles. Thank you. Just want to be on the sidewalk. Thank you. Oh, now I feel safe. And I'll show you what I'm dealing with. Busy 2-lane road. It's actually the road I live on. I am taking you to where my father worked for like 40 years. And I'm gonna go to the store while I'm down there. Just because it's right across the street. I think I have everything packed. I got my toothbrush, my razor, my deodorant, my hairbrush, all that stuff packed now. The stuff you can't really pack until that day. I'm going to buy myself dinner because I'm not cooking, I'm not making trash. So I texted my cousin, let her know the second test was also negative. Because in case you've never taken an at-home COVID test, take one at night or sometime the day before, then you take one the next morning. That's why there's 2 in a package. And they were both negative. Yahoo! I think the way that I'm going to get video of my bridge later is like this. Because I think this is going to be my easiest bet for getting good video footage of my bridge. Now when I say my bridge, it's the Piscataqua Bridge. It's the bridge going from New Hampshire into Maine. It leads you straight onto the main pike. And I love it. I believe it's an opening bridge, meaning that it opens to let tall ships through. If I'm not mistaken, that was always my bridge when I was a kid, and it still is. And that was one of the reasons I started to cry.
You have completed 1 kilometer and your average pace is 29 minutes and 14 seconds per mile.
I don't know if that's coming out or not, that she's talking, but she just said I've completed a kilometer. What's funny is she'll tell me my distance in kilometers, but she'll tell me my speed in mph, miles per hour. Why? Why are you telling me my distance in kms and my speed? So much crap on the ground. My speed in miles. I do not understand that about this particular app. Look at that. Gun. That's the kind of branch we lived for when we were kids, when we played cops and robbers and stuff. Because it's an absolutely perfect musket. So, you know, I look at it's an absolutely perfect musket. That's amazing. I hope I got a good shot of it. I'm getting down there. It's gonna take a little bit, but as you can hear, there's a lot of traffic here. But on this side of me, woods. And on this side of me, woods. So, and a very red fire hydrant. That one doesn't have a flag, but Most of our residential ones have a flag. When I get home, I'll show you. So much trash at the neighbor's house. The flag I'm talking about, and it's because I live in New England and it snows. And it snows a lot sometimes. So that flag sticks like 7 feet in the air so that you can find your hydrant in the event of a blizzard or a nor'easter, which is a slightly smaller storm than a blizzard. But I'll show you that when we get back to the house. But yeah, that's kind of par for the course around here. We also have, because, well, as I get further down, you will see, I'll show you, that the road didn't exist. It was actually blown up. It was all craggy, rocky, almost mountainous terrain. And you can still see that on the side, and we actually have snow fences up on top so we don't have avalanches, hopefully, when we do happen to get a blizzard or a really bad nor'easter or something. Because you can get more snow in a nor'easter than you can a blizzard, and I'll explain why. Because a blizzard is essentially a hurricane with snow instead of rain. See, a blizzard has to have a certain wind speed and a lot of snow. A nor'easter has a lot of snow and some wind speed, but it's more like a tropical storm in the wind speed department. But you can still wind up with more snow. So, trust me, I've lived here all my life. And, you know, it's funny, we do get hurricanes here. This is my first hurricane season alone. And it's just coming into hurricane season as we get into September, October. So that doesn't make me feel good, but we are coming up on it. But it makes me feel a little anxious. I don't expect anything serious. We usually don't, here where I live, in the interior of Massachusetts, we don't usually get much beyond a Category 2, which is still a serious storm. But we're not talking Katrina here. We had, well, a couple of named hurricanes that I can remember. We had Hurricane Gloria. That was my first hurricane when I was little, and I still remember Dick, the weatherman on WCVB, Dick, oh, why can't I remember his name? But anyway, Dick Albert actually made me feel better, because he said, remember, this is just a big wind and a lot of rain, because he knew a lot of kids would be scared, and he got on there and he calmed the kids right down, and he made me feel so much better, and I so appreciate that. I actually wrote him a letter. I don't know if he ever got it, but I wrote him a letter as an adult, thanking him for that, telling him I never forgot what he did for me, you know? And don't worry about my family. Like I said, Salem, they said, is about an hour away, so, and I'll be getting texts before they leave, so I am not going to miss anything. I am very close to the mill. And I have a couple of places there I want to show you. Anyway, so we do get them. Gloria, like I said, I believe she was a Category 2 when she hit us, and it was a flood. It was a terrible flood. I remember looking out at the driveway, at the place that I attempted to show you pictures of last time, which I will do at home on the good camera. I sure hope they come today and not tomorrow morning, because I slept like crap last night. And I'll end up sleeping like crap again tonight because I'm too excited, you know? When I'm that excited, not even the melatonin's gonna do it. Although he said I could take 2.
You have completed 1.5 kilometers.
You hear that?
And your
1.5 kilometers.
27 minutes and 3 seconds.
But yeah, we do have problems with flooding anyway. We live in a floodplain because we live in what's called the Blackstone River Valley. Blackstone River is, oh my, known for flooding. It's also a very dirty river. And the Blackstone Valley has a tributary right here in town that I've taken pictures of in the past called the Mumford. And it also floods. Fortunately, my house is practically up on stilts because the basement is a full house level size beneath me. So, but I'm gonna, okay, first of all, that is the parking lot where my father used to sleep. It's blocked off. So they're not using it. There's water back there, way back there, that, it's a pond, but it was also part of the Mumford that was used to actually run the mill, back when the mill first opened. Okay, story time. When this mill first opened, it was Hayward Schuster's. First opened around the turn of the last century. And we used to come down here, my mother and I, let me show you the mill. Okay, my mother and I used to come down here, pick up my dad's paycheck. The paycheck truck would come and bring him his paycheck on Thursday. Mom and I would walk down and get it, put it in the mail. It was sort of a routine. And I remember standing, see the fence? I remember standing at the fence. That is the guard shack. The reason for this rather secure setup was because Hayward Schuster's was a government contractor. They made blankets for the Army, and heaven be anybody get in there and steal a blanket. Seriously, you need all this security because you made blankets for the Army? Yeah, no, as you can see, it's not. At some point, it became Guilford of Maine. My father lost his job in the early 1980s after working there from the year 1974, the year I was born. About 1982, he lost his job. He, maybe a little later than that, maybe 84. By 85, he was the first person brought back when Guilford of Maine bought the business, because Mr. Schuster, God rest his soul, went out of business. This is another sort of office space. I'm not sure exactly. I do know on the upper floor is a grow operation now, a marijuana grow, legal and all. As I walk further down here, I'm going to show you where my father worked. We would have Christmas parties. We had a big tree that we would light back that way. It isn't there anymore. They took it down. Anyway, when Guilford of Maine sold it, they sold it to an international company out of Japan called Interface Interior Fabrics. And they began making cloth wall coverings. My father was the supervisor for the dye house warehouse, which is way the heck down the other end here. Then he had a foreman over him. And in fact, they weren't going to give him the promotion until his cousin, Diane's husband, and a couple of other guys said, we will all quit our jobs in the warehouse if Willie is not our boss. They didn't have a choice. And the title and pay stayed with him even after all those guys were eventually laid off, and he no longer had anyone under him, but he was still the boss, and he still got the pay of the boss. So, and if you look at all of his, like, he would get write-ups every year, like progress reports types things, and he always did really well anyway. It always said he was warehouse die house supervisor. This is the warehouse. This is where my daddy worked. It's now an auto shop, I believe. This is their house warehouse. And it was funny, my daddy would come home and you can sort of see Guilford of Maine up on that water tank there. This water treatment plant is back behind there. So as you can see, my father had a decent walk to work every day. From that parking lot, through the guard shack, and all the way to here. Because this is a big building. But as you can see, it's completely fenced because it was a government contractor, and that's why it had to have a guard shack. Back in its early days. In fact, if you recall, I showed you the pictures of Soldiers Field. I told you the Red Sox played there. Well, that happened because of Mr. Brewster. He almost bought the Red Sox. The man was very wealthy. So I do not understand. He still has a mansion in town. I do not understand how he went out of business. Oh, excuse me. Trash everywhere. How he went out of business. This is actually a good time of day to walk down here. Last time I walked down here was the middle of the week, and there were so many trucks. I think a Saturday afternoon's the ticket. Like I said, I'm not sure how he went out of business, but he did. Oh, funny story. When they were having troubles and the guys weren't getting their paychecks, my mother called the...
You have completed 2 kilometers and your average pace is 26 minutes and 14 seconds per mile.
Light company crying. So my husband isn't getting paid. And the guy was really sweet. He said, "Where does he work?" And she told him. And he started laughing. And he said, "They owe us way more money than you could comprehend. We're not shutting your lights off because they didn't pay you when they're not even paying us." So that was pretty funny. So I'm so happy. I think I might have my aunt's brand new car, but I'm guessing with the number of people that it's a 3-seater. Because that's the only way it makes sense. Because you've got my cousin, my cousin's daughter, my other cousin's daughter, and my aunt. That's 4 adults, plus me. So there's got to be a 3-seater. That's all I can think. Here's where I'm headed. Shell station. I'm going to try to cross the street. I wanted to get my steps today, and I figured riding in a car was not going to get my steps today, so. See, this side has plenty of side of the road to walk on at this point. It's almost a sidewalk. So, what I'm going to do is I'm going to let you go for now. When I see you again, I will be on the regular camera. Hey guys, I'm home. I got some more electrolyte water. It's in the fridge, so I'm drinking from this one. I like these waters because even though they have electrolytes, they don't have sodium, which I got high blood pressure, so I don't need that. Yeah, I don't know what happened in that last upload, but I lost a section. So I'm going to show you what I lost. I'm going to show you on this because it's easier. I saw this on the side of the road. How gorgeous! It is gorgeous. And then I took pictures. Oh, you saw that already. This is what used to be our town hall, and that is the plaque. It's now the post office. I'm not sure how they got away with it, but that is the street that my school was on. It's a dead-end street. Only the Auditor schools. And that's the Methodist church behind it. That's the Methodist church. I used to go to Sunday school there. This long block here is called Moosehead. Remember, I told you about that. Okay. Right here, right up here, is where my best friend lived. Now, if you see down there, down here, there's a fence around the steps, so she couldn't have come in that way to go home anymore. This is the house across the driveway, like out at the front of on the street. This is the L-shaped house. Felix used to live right there. This is the house where I learned to walk. First floor, right there. Right there. And that's more of the L-shaped house. This is the house I grew up in. Right there. First floor. Whoops, first floor. And those garages are not as close as they look. Those are the garages I wasn't allowed to go past and playing outside. But right there is where I grew up, right down there. That's my bedroom window. That's the long side of the L-shaped house. And that's the front of the L-shaped house. That's the biggest house of the fort. And this is in front of Moosehead. They have planters. They're so pretty. This is a better look at the town hall come post office. Here's another look at it. Pizza parlor. That's the Extra Mart, although it's not Extra Mart anymore. This used to be pharmacy, Lynch's, and we have steps on our sidewalk, which I thought was pretty unique. Maybe it's not. That would be the entrance to Lynch's, but it's now a restaurant. That would be Todd's Video, but it's now a coffee shop. The next ones are in black and white, and I do not know why. That was the post office. It's now a dog groomer. That is the library. Actually, that's a better picture of the library. You can see the decorations up on top. They have a lot of work to do because they have to make it ADA compliant. E&J store, and there we go. Nope. Oh, I went the wrong way. Really? And the Douglas Historical Society, which is the same building. Again, they're in black and white. I don't know why. That's kind of the front. That's a oops. Where did I go? Panorama of the front, so you can see the whole thing. They want to rent out the upstairs. There's a better panorama of the front. The credit union and the bank, and all of a sudden we go back to color. Funeral home, which is a staple in this community. It's gorgeous, actually. Where the credit union is. Used to be a doctor's home and office, and it burnt down. Dr. Spooner. This is the field that I was telling you about where the Red Sox played. I saw wrestling right there. Right there. I had to get in between the bars to get a good And Unibank sponsors this scorecard, as you can see. Now, at the beginning of this video, as you know, I took you on a tour of where my father worked my entire life. So I'm just going to tell you a little bit about my dad. I told you about my mom, and I'm going to tell you about my dad. My dad was really funny, believe it or not. He played practical jokes. He had a good time, you know. He did not have an easy life growing up. Neither did my mother. But they tried to give me a better life than either one of them ever had. Than either one of them ever had. So, and they did. Were there bumps in the road? Of course there were. But I love my parents. So make sure this is all the way down. Okay. Dad was funny. One time he thought I short-sheeted him, so he filled my bed with shaving cream. At first, I stuck my hand under the cover and it was wet. And I'm thinking, Puff, did you throw up on my sheets? So I was grossed out. But then when I saw what it was, I laughed. And it was fine. And it dried very quickly and no big deal. But that was the kind of person that he was. He called our Sundays Angel Sundays because he worked on Saturday till noon. And we didn't always do something on Saturday. So on Sundays, we would go walking around the mall because one of the malls, the one in Rhode Island, used to have all along the center just kiosks and fun things, and they had a robot that followed me around saying my name. Well, I had that shirt on that I told you about, the Smurfs Love Angie. Well, it didn't even occur to me because I was so little. And I'm like, why does he know my name? And my parents thought it was hilarious. We went downtown to Extra Mart that I showed you, and they had another robot that knew my name, and I was freaked out at this point. So my parents told me, look at your shirt. There we go. So that was pretty funny. My dad would give us each a yellow rose. We'd come home with just one each because they were so expensive, you know, sometimes. Oh, my friend's going to a fair today. That's wonderful. Aw. So anyway, she sent me this nice picture. Of Brianna, her daughter. He worked really hard. He was a workaholic. Like I said, he worked all week, and then he worked, and many nights he worked overtime. He worked Saturdays till noon, and our fire department used to blow their whistle. They stopped doing it a few years ago. At noontime on Saturday, and I knew it was noon, so I knew my daddy was coming home, and that held special nostalgia for me. You know, not everybody in town could hear it. If you lived in the center of town like we did, you could hear it. And a lot of people said it was nostalgic for them that I've talked to. Because they grew up with it. The Saturday noon whistle, you know? And so that was so important. It was just sort of part of the fabric of this community. I live in a small town, about 9,000 people, just under, and ever growing. I wish it would stop growing already. Kind of like a parent wishes their kid would stop growing. When I came to this town in 1980 to go to school, there were 3,600 people in this town. Yeah, we're a rural community in Massachusetts. trying to get me in the screen here. Oh, shoot. Sorry, guys. But the way they're trying to make us grow is insane. You know, I know things change, towns grow and things like that, but they're building new roads constantly in this town. Oops. Constantly in this town. And it's insane. They want so much business in this town. But they keep building houses. And they're never going to get business in this town. Yes, we have one area that's right off the highway, Route 146. Otherwise, we're really not an area where business, you know, a lot of business would want to be or would thrive, quite frankly. Where I'm going is even more rural, even less people. Actually, there might be more people, but it's more rural in the sense that it's further away from doctors, hospitals, things like that. We're at least a half an hour away from the nearest hospital. We have two nearest hospitals. We have one in the city of Worcester and one in the town of Milford. Milford had the opportunity to get city status. They chose not to. Because they like being a town. They like having the town government. They didn't want to switch to a city government, so it made sense for them. They do have way more business than a town like ours because they do have more main access, more people coming in and out. People aren't coming... Oops. There. People aren't really coming in and out of Douglas unless you're coming here to see someone or to do something specific. That's why the roads that I walk on, if you see somebody coming down the roads that I walk on, it's somebody who lives here. You know? It's not going to be a stranger. Because everything's a circle in this part of town. What used to be called East Douglas. As a matter of fact, the place that I showed you that I grew up in is no longer number 93. It's now number 353 on its street because they got rid of the village of East Douglas. Why would you eliminate the village? I don't understand it, but that's okay. Because everything still comes out East Douglas. We have something unique here in Massachusetts that not a lot of states have, I guess. We have villages within towns. I was born in the village of Manchog, which is technically in the town of Sutton, although Sutton disavows any knowledge of Manchog, you understand. We're just the poor French riffraff. But anyway, seriously, we're the poor French riffraff. But we're proud to be Chog guys. My father grew up there. He was born in Connecticut. Like I said, he was funny. He had what I call daddyisms or willyisms, words and quotes that he would say that I'll always remember. Colder than a witch's hoo-hoo. I don't know if I can say that on YouTube. Happy horse, fill in the blank. What other ones were there? Oh, I would show him an outfit and he'd say, pure sex, Ange. You know, that was just, it was an expression for, I really don't care, But yeah, you look nice, whatever. You know, that's what that meant. It didn't mean anything bad. Just to make that clear. That was just Dad, you know. And he would say little things, and I would go, you know. And I have since heard other people say a couple of the things that he used to say. And why is my Alexa talking to me? I am not even in the room. She's now playing music. Excuse me, 1 second. Alexa, stop. Sorry about that. I don't know why she was doing that. I didn't say her name and I'm nowhere near her. Matter of fact, I've got myself all set up here in the kitchen to edit this video and get it up. So probably my last vlog before I leave. But like I said, I wanted to tell you about my dad. Like I said, he was a hard worker. He would have done anything for his family. My father quit school at the age of 16 in the year 1960, went to work to take care of his mother, and by 1965 he bought her first television set. He was so proud of that. My father, as I mentioned in another vlog, was a real man, and like Roddy Piper said, real men cry. And I remember him crying the day that the house that I was basically born in, that he had lived in from the age of about 14 or 15 up until he was over 30 years old, when I was born, burnt to the ground. And I remember him crying that day. Both of my parents were very emotional that day because it was a part of us. It was the beginning of us, you know. But they couldn't keep me there because it wasn't ideal for a baby. But so when I was about 18 months, we moved to the place that I showed you the picture of. We lived there till I was about 4.5 years old. We moved to the town of Millbury, which is a suburb of Worcester. It's right outside of Worcester. In fact, my aunt and uncle lived on a place called Millbury Terrace. Well, terrace is obviously a hill. And you could stand on their front stoop and look out toward, I don't know, like north, south, east, or west, but I know it was sort of to the left, middle, and you could see billboards and lights in the city. So that was kind of neat to do at night when I was there. As a matter of fact, it's funny, they got cable TV there before I got cable TV. We did not get cable TV until we moved from Douglas the last time, because we moved back to that house when I was almost 6 years old, right after my grandmother passed away. And I grew up there. I was there until after 6th grade. 7th, 8th, and 3/4 of 9th I was in Northbridge. And that's when we finally got cable television. Because Douglas didn't have cable. In fact, the main area of Douglas didn't get cable until 92, I believe. And the area out in the woods didn't get it till about 94. So, well, maybe about 90. But the backwoods didn't get it till like around 94, 93, 94. Because they just weren't in a hurry to put the lines out there because it was going to cost them a fortune and a half. It just occurred to me when I said that my father used to call me Charlie. He would say, "Nice going, Charlie." Or, if I slipped and fell or whatever, he'd say, "Nice one, Grace." I've often said my father called me Grace, and not because I was graceful. That was just, it was something between him and I, you know? And that's where the name of this channel came from. It came from him, because he called me Punky when I was little. He called me Butterball, too. But Punky was his special name for me. My mother's was Gigi. But I think that came a little later. And Punky was always my father's name for me, and that's why well, if you ever saw any cards that I gave him, it's signed with my name and then Punky in quotes. Always. Because that's what he called me. His little Punky. And so, I think it was short for pumpkin. So, I don't want to let this run too long, but I just wanted to tell you about him. He had what we called a blank-eaten grin that he always had in pictures from way back. And if you go over to my other site, which, by the way, my other channel has 182 subscribers, and I got another subscriber on here. He loved my genealogy vlogs, so I'll definitely be doing more of those. But I'm gonna go. Thank you so much for stepping into Punky's world again. I so appreciate it. Have a wonderful rest of your day, and I'm gonna go at it. Take a look. It's all set up. Alrighty. Have a great day. God bless. Bye-bye.